Alright, as we look at the second problem of section 4, our second problem is going to deal with coins or money. All of the problems that we deal with tonight that have coins or money will be dealt with in the same manner. Once again, we have to determine what our variables are going to be. So we read through the problem. You have 25 coins in your pocket made up of quarters and nickels. The value is $5.25. How many of each coin do you have? Well, the question is, how many of each coin do you have? I'm going to underline that. That's our question. We'll come back to that at the end. Well, we have quarters and nickels. So obvious variables to choose is what starts for quarters and what starts for nickels. So we're going to let Q equal the number of quarters. Remember, a quarter is 25 cents. Then we're going to let N equal the number of nickels. In your homework, I want to see your let statement for all of your problems. Next step, we have to write two equations. The first equation has to do with the number of coins that you have. That's 25. So that's a simple equation. N plus Q equals 25. And that equation has to do with the number of coins. Our second equation is going to have to do with the value of the coins. A nickel is worth 5 cents. So 5 cents times N plus 25 cents times Q equals the amount of money that we have, $5.25. So this is the value equation. Next, we're going to try to use elimination to solve this problem. I'm going to try to make it easy and get rid of my decimals in the second equation to make life easier. When we multiply by 100, we get rid of all the cents in the problem. And that way the problem makes sense. So, 100 times 0.05 is 5N. 100 times 0.25 is 25Q. And 100 times $5.25 is $5.25. Now we compare this second equation with the original first equation. And we say, I'd like to try to drop out my variables. Well, comparing N and Q, since the N is smaller, I'm going to try to drop out the N's and get a negative 5N right here. To get a negative 5N in this spot, I have to ask myself, N times what is negative 5N? Well, that's easy. That's a negative 5. So here we go. Now we're going to distribute the negative 5 to each of these parts in the second equation. So, negative 5 times N is negative 5N. Negative 5 times Q is negative 5Q. And negative 5 times 25 is negative 125. Once again, if you don't have your calculators out at this point, please do so, because we're going to be using them. We add these up vertically, gives us 20Q. Negative 125 plus 525 is 400. To solve this equation, we divide both sides by 20. And 400 divided by 20 is 20. So we have 20 quarters. We now go back to our equation, equation 1. N plus Q equals 25. And we're going to put in our value of Q of 20 and solve for N. We subtract 20 from both sides and N equals 5. To check this, we're going to put it back into our second equation, our money equation. 0.05N plus 0.25Q equals $5.25. 5 cents times 5 nickels plus 25 cents times 20 quarters equals $5.25. Well, that's 25 cents plus $5 equals $5.25. So it does check. We now have to answer our question. The question at the top says, how many of each coin do you have? So the question answered very simply in a full sentence says, we have 5 nickels and 20 quarters. This is what we're going to be doing for any time we have a problem involving money. The easiest thing to remember on this one is multiply by 100 to get rid of all your decimals.